we were a bit confused about all the fans, or I'd say lack thereof of all the fans in Stadium 2 while Rybakina was playing. As you can see from videos and pictures, if we were to say that there are hundreds of people watching this match, that would be a stretch.
Fergus, I cannot play Rafa anymore, but if he would make like 10 times time violation to Rafa, because like you need to have some common sense sometimes.
And seeing the Brazilian fans, I mean, that's what you kind of want, you know. You want that new atmosphere. Same for Eala, having all the Philippine fans from coming, you know, to support her. It's.
Tommy Haas, the director of the prestigious IndianWells Tennis Garden, is in crisis mode. He is facing a massive drop in ticket sales ever since the stunning young tennis star AlexEala was knocked out of the tournament. This has left Haas scrambling to find a way to bring the crowds back into the stadium. But things have gotten even more intense. Haas has gone so far as to openly criticize the WTA for not making the most of Eala's massive appeal. Here is a breakdown of exactly what has been going on, and how AlexEala's star power has turned the IndianWells starker completely upside down. AlexEala is a rising star from the Philippines, who made a jaw-dropping debut at the 2026 IndianWells tournament. The young player's first match was against Diana Schneider, and it was not just any ordinary match. It was a record-breaking moment in tennis history. The demand for tickets to watch Eala play was so overwhelming that prices shot up to previously unthinkable levels. In fact, IndianWells made a staggering $5 million in ticket sales from that one single match alone.
IndianWells set a single-day attendance record of more than 58,000 fans on the first Friday.
Tommy Haas, who had been riding high on the success of Eala's match, suddenly found himself in a panic. With the crowds thinning out, he was scrambling to figure out how to fill the stadiums again. And what was his solution? In a desperate attempt to reverse the downward spiral, Haas has reportedly been trying to arrange 1 or 2 exhibition matches featuring none other than AlexEala herself. That is right. He wants to get Eala back on the court, even if it is not part of the official tournament, in an effort to bring the fans back. Haas has reportedly even tried to get Eala to play an exhibition match before the start of the Miami Open, just to revive ticket sales. What makes this situation even more interesting is the reaction from the broader tennis world. It is no secret that AlexEala's rise has been meteoric, but it has not always been smooth sailing. Back at the Australian Open, when Eala qualified to play, the WTA made the controversial decision to place her on smaller courts instead of giving her a spot on the main stage. As a result, hundreds of thousands of fans were left standing in long lines, just hoping to get a glimpse of their idol. It was clear to many that the WTA was doing everything it could to downplay Eala's popularity, despite her massive fan base. But instead of putting out the fire, that decision only added fuel to the flames. Fans wanted more, and the hype surrounding Eala grew even bigger. It is important to note that Eala's rise is not just about hype or controversy. It is about her incredible talent and hard work. When Novak Djokovic, one of the greatest players of all time, praises AlexEala, you know she is something truly special. Djokovic has been quoted saying that watching Eala play on television is great, but watching her live is even better. Coming from someone who has competed against the very best players in the world, that is no small compliment. Djokovic's words carry significant weight in the tennis community, and it is clear that he recognizes the genuine talent that Eala brings to the court.
We're a bit confused about all the fans, or I'd say lack thereof of all the fans in Stadium 2 while Rybakina was playing. As you can see from videos and pictures, if we were to say that there are hundreds of people watching this match, that would be a stretch.
Despite all the praise and attention surrounding AlexEala, there is still a lot of tension between the WTA and the tournament organizers at IndianWells. Tommy Haas is no longer just concerned about ticket sales. He is now publicly expressing his frustration with the way the WTA has handled AlexEala's star power. He believes the WTA missed a huge opportunity to capitalize on the massive demand for Eala's matches. Instead of giving her the platform she deserved, the WTA chose to downplay her popularity. And in Haas's view, that decision has only hurt the tournament in the long run. Haas is not the only one frustrated by this situation. Many of Eala's fans, as well as fellow tennis players, have expressed their deep admiration for the young Filipino star. Maria Sharapova, the former world #1, has been particularly vocal about the significance of Eala's success. She pointed out that Eala's rise is not just about her individual achievements, but about the representation she provides for Asian athletes in tennis as a whole. For years, tennis has been dominated by players from Europe and North America. And while the sport has grown globally over time, Asian representation at the very top level of women's tennis has been rare. Eala's presence at the highest stage of the sport is therefore meaningful not just for the Philippines, but for the entire Asian sporting community.
AlexEala, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. There's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. She's been the biggest ever, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest.
Sharapova believes that AlexEala is changing that narrative and inspiring millions of people who may have never felt represented in professional tennis before. She is bringing a new wave of enthusiasm and passion to the sport, and fans from all across Asia are rallying behind her. Sharapova's words are a reminder of just how important diversity and representation are in sports, and how Eala's success is helping to break down barriers that have stood for a very long time. But back to the situation at hand, Tommy Haas is in full crisis mode. With stadiums emptying out and ticket sales in freefall,